Welcome back to the Milwaukee Show, and today we are talking about the Western Conference Finals between the Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. It's round two between these two teams. Last time they played each other in 2020 in the Western Conference Finals, where Dallas went on, then lost 5-1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And that was the first win of their back-to-back wins. So Dallas got this far last time and beat the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm just going to cut to the chase here. And usually I go through the whole thing and I'm like, I don't know which team's going to win. But in my eyes, there's no way that Dallas is not the better team. Not just on paper as a roster, but just everything going for them, I gotta say. Everything in my eyes, except maybe one thing, goes towards Dallas. They have the edge. I would say it's like 80-20 right now. Like, they have the edge overall in not every category, but they are definitely my team pick in this series. Not only in recent history of the playoffs did they beat them, which the teams are roughly similar. I know they have Jack Eichel now for the Vegas Golden Knights, and Pietrangelo was on the team, at that point, but that was the year Shea Theodore popped off, too, didn't he? I don't know. Doesn't matter. The Golden Knights, sure, they're a great team, but the Dallas Stars, they just have everything going for them, including their season series this year. And I think, there was another, not stat, but, their record against the Golden Knights has been, really, really good. Over, just their history of, seasons past. Especially lately. Now, the last two games they played in the regular season both went to a shootout, but regardless of anything, the three games they played this year, all won by the Dallas Stars. So everything, even history between these two teams, goes for the Stars. And when we talk about stars, we got to talk about the top stars. And I got to give the edge to Dallas again. Joe Pavelski, Rupe Hintz, and Jason Robertson. Those guys I would have greater than Eichel, Stone, and depending on who you kind of think is the third top guy of the Golden Knights, I just put Chandler Stevenson. But whoever you want to pick there, I gotta pick the top stars of Dallas on this one. I think, especially if Robertson, who's been snake bitten, he's not been playing bad. I know the things he hasn't been scoring, but he is snake bitten. He's this close to scoring. He run up against some really good goaltenders, and he's just been so not unlucky, but unlucky. He just can't get it in the net. He's got 44 shots and only 2 goals or something like that. He's playing phenomenal. By no means he playing bad, but if he could start going, which I think he could, because between these two teams, I'm skipping over a part here, but we gotta go to the goaltending. Jake Ottinger, right? This might be the biggest edge between these two teams, because defensively, I could maybe see Vegas being especially systematically being the better defensive team, especially with guys like not just their defense in general with Pietrangelo and McNabb and Shea Theodore being good defensemen playing defense, but with guys even Mark Stone especially, we know he's the superstar. He's the next Patrice Bergeron. Well, he might be amazing defensive forward, and they might be better systematically playing defense on paper. I don't know, between Pietrangelo and Theodore, do you pick them over Heiskanen and Lindell or Suter? I don't know. On paper, I might give the edge slightly to the Golden Knights, especially with Pietrangelo and Shea Theodore, what those two guys could do. But, Miro Heiskanen's just a whole beast on his own. So it is a very interesting dynamic there. I don't know who I would give the edge there. But the one spot that you definitely can give up to is Jake Ottinger over the goaltending in Vegas, which has been very good. Aiden Hill's been good. Laurent Brossoit has been very good as well. But you cannot put either of them above Jake Ottinger. This guy, Clutch the Otter, which I know is this stupid name, but this guy, he is the best goalie I've watched, maybe except Philip Grubauer. And Bobrovsky's interesting, but just Jake Ottinger, especially his way of bouncing back after a loss, and this team, the Dallas Stars team, how they bounce back after a loss, and even when they're losing, they don't seem like a loser team. They just are losing the game, they never get sure, they might get scored 6-3 on, but they still scored 3 goals. That's pretty good, and they're always kicking. It's just the other team, they gave a couple bit more mistakes to them, and maybe the goaltender, just his glove was just an inch off, and the other team's goalie was just a little bit better. And it scores 6-3, right? Never have I seen Dallas except one game against the Wild where I'm like, man, Dallas just does not have it tonight. Sure, the other team has played better than them, especially that game 6 against the Seattle Kraken, where the Kraken looked phenomenal, but still, Dallas scored 3 goals and looked very good in the game. It's just Seattle was just on a whole other level that night. So with Dallas, they never give up. They're always pushing, and especially after losses, they have yet to lose 2 games in a row this series. And Game 7, you got Jake Ottinger in net, no goaltender, I think, at this point in the NHL, right? As we are in the current time we are in. Sure, in the past, you could say Vasilevsky or something, but I think, especially right now, since Tampa's out of the playoffs, I don't think you can pick a better goaltender for Game 7 if it gets to that point between these two teams for Jake Ottinger not to be the beast that he is. So, I don't know. I'm overall, I gotta say, Dallas is my heart in this one. They've got everything going for them, and especially what I think is the most important, well, couple of things, but overall, for Dallas, they have gone through hell and survived. They've gone through the physical fight and just the hell that Minnesota put them through in round 1. They did not cower away. They got hit so hard and they got bruised and banged up. But guess what? They didn't just sit back in they didn't let that get to their heads. They don't let anything get to their heads, but they didn't let that physicality get to them, that good goaltending that Gustafsson did. A lot of teams you see playing that physical hockey, I feel like you see the other team kind of cower away, and especially when you can't score goals against a really good goaltender, you see teams kind of being like, well, I don't know what to do anymore, and we're getting beat up. I don't know. Oh, they scored. They see that a lot, but Dallas did not do that. Against the Kraken, they went to the limit against them with Game 7. It was a back-and-forth series. It could have gone either way, and they got past the depth and the goaltending of Philip Grubauer, and they got through that high-intensity matchup between a very deep team and of just a all-around amazing squad. And now they go up against Vegas, and Vegas has yet to have a really tough struggle in a series. Round 1 against Winnipeg, other than Game 1, they were all over the Jets. They were in charge. They were all over the Jets that whole series. That 4-1 win, you wipe out Game 1, should have been a sweep. They didn't show up for the first game, and they lose that one in abysmal fashion. They literally looked like an AHL team, and I know people say that sometimes, but I literally mean it. They couldn't connect passes. They were just were not moving their feet. They looked like a Pee-wee team or like a D3 hockey team in high school or something. They just looked bad, horrible. But they bounced back. I don't know what the hell was wrong with them. Win 4 games in a row. Move on against the Oilers. Now, of course, yes, the Oilers are a very good team, but they're a very shoddy team, I guess. They're not the depth wasn't there from last year, and goaltending-wise, Stuart Skinner gave them a lot of gifts to score. I'm sure the series was 4-2, so it kind of almost went the distance, but at the same time, it doesn't. And I just feel like McDavid and Draisaitl leading the path, absolutely amazing. Bouchard being a superstar right now. But other than them, no one was going. Evander Kane didn't seem like the Kane from last run. Hyman wasn't that big of a factor. Yamamoto, just no one else other than those 3 guys. In goaltending, too, and defense, just nothing seemed like... When Edmonton was hot, they would win the games, but they would give up leads. They were just so... They did it against the Kings as well. So with the Knights just took advantage, and they're deeper than the Kings. They're a better team than the Kings, and they get past them and they just punish Stuart Skinner for his terrible plays. and they get past them. So for Vegas, I feel like they haven't been pushed to the edge. They haven't been on the pressure test. They haven't been put in the pressure to be turned into a diamond. The Stars, they've been pressurized, and in those series, they have shown up there. They're superstars. Their goaltending, their defense, they have the intensity, they have the depth, especially the depth. Both these teams have depth, but the difference between them is, yeah, a guy like Kolosar on the Golden Knights is a fantastic depth player. I like him on the team, but he doesn't really produce a whole lot. With Vegas, with Dallas though, everyone in this team is producing. Everyone is so close, and maybe they're not actually getting any points, but they are getting so close to doing it. And they got stuck against two really good goaltenders and defense that maybe against a team with Aiden Hill and Laurent Brossoit, which have been good, but they haven't really been pushed to the edge, and they haven't been whimsical like Philip Grubauer, like Bobrovsky, like Jake Ottinger. So for me, the Dallas Stars, they've got every single piece to the puzzle. Every single one. They've got every single advantage except maybe systematically defense, but with their speed, their skill, every single line, like a superstar line, especially their top two, even three, like they've got so many good guys, all the way down to Domi and Dadonov look amazing, right? On the Golden Knights, like guys like Smith, yeah, Riley Smith is looking good. Marchessault got a hat trick, but I mean, look at the two goals. Two of the goals he scored are like, well, was it his fault that they scored him? He was just the right guy at the right place for Stuart Skinner to really screw up, you know? So, like, with them, I don't know if the depth is really there, but with Dallas, you got every single guy going, and it's just remarkable. So, through the pressure test that they've gone through in the first two rounds, with Dallas, in my eyes, they've turned into a diamond. For Vegas, I just don't think they've really been put in they've been put in the machine. They haven't been, they didn't put in the coal. They are still a piece of coal. They're not dust, and they're not a diamond. They're still a coal, and they have the potential to become one of the two. And I know this might sound like a stupid analogy, but it makes sense to me. Dallas has turned into a diamond. They've proven that they are, and now we have to see if Vegas can turn into a better diamond, or will they turn into dust themselves. And for me, I already said it, Dallas has got my pick. I don't see any way that Dallas loses this series. They've got the bounce back, they've got the grit, the intensity, the depth, defense, goaltending, superstar players performing as well, with Roope Hintz leading the way, Miro Heiskanen being an absolute workhorse and being an amazing defenseman, Jake Ottinger being clutch as hell. Vegas, they're a great team. I know that. Being a Sharks fan, I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, but I've gone through a lot of heartache against the Vegas Golden Knights. I know this team has a way of just being such a good performing team as a whole. They're one of those teams that they don't have like the one line or anything that is good, right? Every line out there, they're not like all number one scoring lines. They're not like the Dallas Stars where each line out there could score a goal, but they can definitely play very good defense physically and make some star plays. Guys like Kolosar can make a big hit and then maybe have the confidence then to make a nice move with the puck. Vegas has a way of just being so damn good, and it's really annoying. But between these two teams with their history and just their current performances, I've got to give the edge to the Dallas Stars, and they are going to move on to the Stanley Cup Finals against the other teams I'll talk about in just after this. So thank you for watching this, and if you've enjoyed it and gotten to this part, thank you, and I'm begging you, please pick up your free subscription. And until next time, too sweet, have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.